Welcome back, heroes, to some more Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel. We have a brand new solo mode to play through, Dark Dead Vengeance, which is about the VENDREAD archetype, which I have absolutely no idea how they work, what they're about, so this is going to be very interesting. So let's jump right into it. VENDREAD Knights. The card artwork looks really cool. So let's do the few scenarios, and then we can go into practice, and then try the deck out, and see if we like it. So Dark Dead Vengeance. Guessing it's going to be a zombie deck with like all the zombie monsters there. So within the concrete jungle of high-rise buildings, the people hustled and bustled among the sleepless city lights. However, that was a long time ago. A darkness that shrouded the sky above turned the world into one that would never see morning come again. And with the darkness came monsters that threatened the peace of the city, the VENDREADs. The VENDREADs started as corpses that crawled out their graves, except their bodies had transformed into something grotesque. Without a single shred of their memories from their past life, or any will of their own, they would wander the streets at night and attack any living human or animal in their path, guided only by their instinct. No firearm, tank, or any sort of modern weaponry could defeat these creatures. What's worse, anyone, anything that was unfortunate enough to become a victim of a VENDREAD would become one themselves. The VENDREAD threat was like a match thrown into a forest, spreading fear like an uncontrollable blaze. As the undead continued to rapidly multiply, those remaining of flesh and blood scrambled fruitlessly for a solution. The VENDREAD horde soon made their way to the hastily built wall that served as the sole line of defense for the living. Among them was a young man who had also lost his life to the undead. He was no different from the other VENDREADs, wandering the same shrouded city with the same mindlessness. But, as luck would have it, one day, as a young man continued to drift about mindlessly, he came across a young woman who had been carried off by the VENDREADs. His mind had already long faded, or it should have, but as his eye caught the locket that hung from the woman's neck, something stirred within him. Memories of his past life began to flood into his head into a great crashing wave. He knew the woman with the pendant before him. She had once been the love of his life. His mind twisted and turned with a desperate sadness as he realized that his love was no longer of this world. The sadness soon boiled over into a seething rage and hatred for the VENDREADs that robbed her of her life. As his mind dragged itself out from the bogs of its undead depths, a flame of hatred ignited his heart. The violent burst of emotion tore his body apart with unbearable pain as it began to transform and rebuild itself into something much stronger. When the transformation ended, the man steadied his uneven breath and stood up. He took the locket and hung it around his neck so he could keep the memory of his beloved close by. Then he spoke into the silent night. I swear, I will vanquish every last one of these walking corpses is the last thing I'll do. And thus, the new agent of vengeance was born. He was the VENDREAD who would hunt the other VENDREAD. VENDREAD Slayer. This was the beginning of the long Revenger's fierce battle. It looks awesome. Alright, let's go to the next scenario. Oh. Man, these monsters look a little creepy. Even in that day, the living struggled bravely from within the city wall to keep alive. The VENDREAD horde that pursued the living pushed against the barrier like crashing waves, and showed no sign of ever stopping. Their numbers seemed to only be going up too. They continued to groan and wail deep into the night, day after day. The terror was too much. The citizens were finding it harder and harder to keep sane under these horrific circumstances. But then, a single shadow loomed over the horde. The shadow darted forth and cut down a VENDREAD with a single swoop, quick as lightning. But he didn't stop there. Any VENDREAD that dare stand in his way would be stabbed, hit, kicked, and knocked down. They would have their limbs and rotting flesh torn, twisted, and ripped from their bodies. And once the shadow had finished hunting down every last walking corpse that plagued the city wall, he disappeared back into the darkness as quickly as he had appeared, not even sparing a single moment to look back at the crowd he had just saved. But the VENDREAD Slayer was not interested in being a hero. All he wanted was revenge, and he would not stop at anything to destroy any VENDREAD that entered his line of sight. But regardless of his intentions, the fact was that he had swooped onto the scene like a bolt from the blue and defeated all the VENDREADs. To the survivors, he was their single ray of hope. Word of the mysterious undead hunter began to spread quickly through the city. As the nights continued, he too continued his battles. However, the VENDREADs weren't going to stand for being hunted down so mercilessly. With the carnage, the undead began to change. Up until now, The humans and animals that turned into VENDREAD had stayed about the same physical size as they had been when they passed. That was one of the main reasons the survivors had been able to keep the horde back with just their average human strength. However, now that VENDREAD were being pursued by a relentless executor in the form of VENDREAD Slayer, they began to feel threatened. Some of them even began to merge with one another to create a bigger VENDREAD. Few words could describe how grotesque it looked, and people began to name it after a certain multi-headed beast of legend. They called it the VENDREAD Chimera. The creature would threaten the safety of the people beyond the wall for many more nights. It possessed the powers and strengths of numerous VENDREADs, and even the Slayer was beginning to have trouble finding it. Every time they battled, the Slayer would only just manage to fight it off. He was never successful in completely silencing it. However, the more they fought, the more weaknesses were uncovered. The Slayer found that within the Chimera, there lay a core that governed all its actions. The Slayer charged at the core and then threw all its strength into it, destroying it. And finally, the Chimera crumbled into a pile of rotting flesh and bones. At first, it seemed that the Slayer's do-or-die attack had ended things once and for all. With the agglomeration of animosity that was the Chimera, the tragedy would only further unfold from here. The clash of the undead would only escalate, further and further into something beyond human comprehension. All the survivors could do was pray that one day, the VENDREAD would be vanquished, and dawn would break once more over their city. Okay, time for practice. Let's see how this deck works. I mean, like, I like the VENDREAD Slayer, he looks really awesome, but yeah, some decks that just look a little gross, I never really want to try. Alright, so what do we got? Oh, it's a ritual deck, okay. So it's a deck based around ritual monsters. If you choose a non-ritual VENDREAD monster on your field to tribute for a ritual summon, the ritual summon monster can gain additional effects. Consume the powers of the dead and then the VENDREAD will grow even stronger. Okay. Interesting. Alright, 0 attack, 2100 defense. So what are we doing? So ritual summon VENDREAD Slayer and win the duel during this turn. The VENDREAD monster such as VENDREAD Hound Horde is tributed from the field to ritual summon. The ritual summon monster gains a special effect. The attack of the opponent's monster is 0, but be careful of the cards set in the opponent's spell and trap zone. Deal with them by using the ritual monster that gain the effects listed on VENDREAD Hound Horde. Try summoning. Okay, so what we do is I guess we just summon this, use the spell card, and then we special summon this with these two. Love the animation here. This card looks awesome. Alright, so now what? So due to having used VENDREAD Hound Horde that was on the field, VENDREAD Slayer has gained an effect to banish a spell trap card on the opponent's field. That's not bad. Alright, so let's activate effect. Banish that. And then, so declare an attack against your opponent's monster with the VENDREAD Slayer and activates effect. Okay, what's your effect then? Let's read this card. So, once per battle, if this card attacks an opponent's monster during damage calculation, you can banish one zombie monster from your graveyard. This card gains 300 attack. This ritual summon card is sent to the graveyard. You can add one ritual spell from your deck to your hand, and if you do, send one VENDREAD monster from your deck to the graveyard. Okay. Right, so, yeah, it gives us easily enough attack power to finish this off. So we activate the effect. So we send this, gain 300 and then win. Right. Let's get into an actual duel and see what we can do. Nice. So how many duels are there? Oh, okay. Right, so let's do this. This feels like more of a scenario solo mode than a actual dueling one. Which I don't mind. Seeing the story of the cards is always awesome. Okay, so what do we want to do? Alright, so you can add one ritual spell from your deck to your hand and add one ritual monster from your deck or graveyard to your hand. Okay, so let's do this. Get that. And get this. I don't know if we want to activate this just yet. Can target one face-up monster on the field. Discard one card, and if you do, increase the target's level. Okay. I don't know what the best option is here. I think. I think should I just set this? Gonna set this and then just see what happens. I don't know what to really do with this deck. I don't want to like get this out just yet and then end up it dying. Okay, that's good. In phase 2, okay. Right, that was fine. Got another one. Right, so if we go... you can target one face-up monster on the field, discard one card, and if you do, increase the target's level by 1. Target one face-up monster on the field. You control cannot attack for the rest of this turn. Except zombie monsters. Also send one zombie monster from your deck to the graveyard. I think if I summon this... Ooh, what can we actually make? Got some... big links, it looks like. Oh, got some synchros. Right. I think the best thing to do is do this. So if I get this, use that, use this. That lets me banish a card, right? So this card is just one you can... Oh, it's sent to the graveyard. Wait. So activate effect, yeah, then we do this. Let's banish this. Alright, and then your effect is cards in your graveyard, you can discard one VENDREAD card, special from this card, but banish it when it leaves the field. VENDREAD monster ritual summon with this card. Okay, that means I'd have to get rid of that, right? Which we don't want to do. Although, I guess I could do this. If I do this, discard this, and then can maybe make something. So if you would tribute a monster for a tribute summon, you can tribute zombie monsters your opponent controls, even though you do not control them. Target one monster in your opponent's graveyard, special summon it to your opponent's field in defense position, but it becomes a zombie monster. Right, so if a monster is special summoned to a zone this card points to, you can apply the following effects. What's the other thing? Once per turn, you can target one face-up monster this card points to, one face-up monster your opponent controls. Right, oh, that's annoying. Alright, let me try this. I do this. And then do this. So once per turn, you can target one face-up monster this card points to, and one face-up monster your opponent controls. The opponent attack is equal to the attack of this target. Alright, so then we do this. So that loses that. And then how do we make the other thing? 2+ zombie monsters. Cyburst, okay. Trying to figure out what I want to do here. I think, do I just attack? So I could make this, but then is there much point? No, I think it's fine. Let's just go for the attack. So a bit more damage. 5. Oh, cool, the Haunted, okay. Oh, that's annoying. That is very annoying. Alright, you could probably take me out, so let's... So you can tell one face-up monster on the field, discard one card if you increase. Okay, I think just to be... Oh, I can't even do that because it's gonna be zombie, isn't it? Oh, that's annoying. Alright, I guess we gotta end. It's fine, it's fine. Cool, the Haunted, man. Oh. So what's the effect here? So once put out with this card, okay. I don't know what the effect is I'm using here. Oh, this. I think that was. I think I could keep doing that. Oh, okay, I see. I thought that was just once. That's awesome. It's your VENDREAD Chimera. Oh, that does not look like I'm gonna have fun fighting that. Okay, so what do we do? What do we do? During your main phase, you can send one zombie monster from your deck to the graveyard. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can banish one zombie monster from your graveyard, except Gozuki special one zombie monster from your hand. Alright, so let's summon this. So then I can go activate this effect, do this onto that. It's actually really good, this Underclock Taker. I like this. This card is sent to... Wait, so you can send one zombie monster from your deck to the graveyard. So if I get another VENDREAD, and then I can attack, activate the effect, get the extra 300. Oh, it's any zombie, isn't it? Okay. Nice. And attack, we win. You know, I actually don't mind this deck. I think this deck's actually kind of cool. I didn't realize the we keep the effect. I thought it was going to be once. That's actually really awesome. All right, well, let's go for the next two scenarios. I just know that when the decks change, whenever I like a deck in solo mode, when it gets changed, I don't like it as much. But after a long and bitter struggle, VENDREAD Slayer would finally destroy the VENDREAD Chimera threat. No one could predict that this defeat would only bring more dreadful threats. One day, the Slayer felt a menacing presence like never before. Overflowing with an unabating grudge, he immediately headed toward it, determined to fight the source. He saw that the wall had been broken through, even though it had held up well against the Chimera threat. The wall and the scavenged armor vehicles that were taking the brunt of the attacks were destroyed, and the countless people were found slain. The VENDREAD horde had a different leader now. It was much larger than the Chimera had been, and was clad in heavy armor. Enveloping it was a thick and ominous aura of resentment. Oh wow, this guy looks awesome. It was VENDREAD Battlelord, and it had been born from the grudges of all the VENDREADs that the Slayer had defeated. Their collective hunger for vengeance against the Slayer had combined into a frightening force, and wherever the Battlelord went, it would leave a trail of death and destruction behind. It was one lone fighter's wish to eradicate the VENDREAD against the Horde's desire to crush their executor. Their rage came to a head, and thus another clash to the death began. The Battlelord's might was far from tremendous than the Slayer could ever have imagined. Not only could it absorb the surrounding VENDREAD, but also those who had lost their lives at the scene. The Battlelord had a steady supply of fodder, and it only grew more powerful as time went on. No matter how strong the Slayer's desire for revenge was, his blade stood no change against his foe. He pushed and tried everything he could to gain the upper hand, but in the end, he was overwhelmed by the Battlelord's immense strength. Well, this Battlelord seems awesome. Okay. Alright. Oh, wow. That card's looking kind of cool. VENDREAD Slayer lay limp on the ground, wounded and battered, like he was a ragdoll that had been flung aside. VENDREAD Battlelord picked up the small hunter in his enormous hand. Look at the artwork, that looks amazing. Then, just as it had done to the other Vendreads and the fallen victims, it reached its other hand toward the Slayer's chest to absorb its power. The Slayer's consciousness was sinking into nothingness fast, but then, the faint glint of his locket caught his eye. That tiny gleam was enough to remind him that his mission was not over yet. With his conviction renewed, the flame in his heart lit up once more. No wound on his body could stop him now. The Slayer mustered all the strength he had left and right before the Battle Lord could absorb his powers, he plunged his hand into the Vendread's chest and ripped out its core. Holding the core, the Slayer began to feel a new surge of energy. His body was absorbing the hateful power that the Battle Lord had possessed. The tides were turning. With the Battle Lord's powers flowing into the Slayer now, its body started to crumble. However, just as the Slayer began to think that the fight was finally over, the core, struggling for survival, brushed against the Slayer's pendant with a stray hand. The Battle Lord's remains, along with the Vendreads that surrounded him, began to transform. They all began to take on the form of the woman that the Slayer cherished in his previous life. With that single touch of the locket, the core had sensed the remaining dredges of the Slayer's love, and sought to destroy his morale with it. The Slayer froze. Was this a dream? No, this was no dream. He shook his head, trying to remind himself that the love of his life was already gone. This was a nightmare that was trying to ensnare him. He balled his fist in anger. How dare these scum disgrace the memory of his beloved. Oh, as his burning rage surged and finally exploded, he found himself transforming into a new form with stronger powers. He'd become the VENDREAD Executor. Looks awesome. I actually like the story of this guy. Man, I love this deck. Well, not the story of it. Alright, so let's see how, I guess, his ex-lover and the Battle Lord, how they work. Alright, so we've got a field spell, we've got a quick play spell, and we've got a normal spell and a normal trap. Alright, Zombie Master, okay. Not sure if this is a good hand or not. I guess we activate this. Discard one card, add one Vendread monster from your deck to your hand. You can only use this effect Vendread once per turn. When your Vendread monster destroys an opponent's monster by battle, you can banish one Vendread monster from your graveyard that can attack opponents. Okay. So we can't really do that. Right, so if I do this, we get this, and then we get the Slayer again. And then if I activate this, yeah. I'm gonna get rid of the trap. Gonna get. If we get this dude. So what does this do? Send one zombie monster from your hand or face up from your field to the graveyard. Special one Vendread monster from your deck. Okay, right. So I'm gonna go. Yeah, so I'm gonna activate this. Summon that. I'm gonna do this. Gotta send this. And then if we get let's get this. And then do this. Oh, we can do it from the. Oh, I didn't realize we can do it from the graveyard. I messed that up, but it kind of luckily got saved there. I messed it up bad. I was looking at the Vendreads and I totally forgot the level. But that's fine. So we can make something here. Not sure what we want. So this link card and monsters it points to cannot be destroyed by opponent's card effects. This card points to two monsters. You can switch control of those monsters. Okay, I think I get this. Oh no, it's a link free. Okay. So this card, you can discard one card and target one special summon monster in your opponent's main monster zone. Yeah, let's do this. And activate the effect. And then we can put this in, I guess, defense for now. Could attack an extra 500, but... Alright, and then... Problem is I can't discard a card. Like, I messed up bad, and I'm just trying to, like, do some damage here, but I'm not sure what I should go for. Let's get these. And then we can make... Probably best just to attack. Yeah, I messed up bad, but it's fine. Oh, what's this? Oh, that's annoying. Wait for the effect. And then... Can I do this? Alright. Let's attack that. Main phase 2. I think I'll save that for next turn. Yeah, I messed up. I misplayed so bad. And now see if we can just bring this back. Alright, VENDREAD Chimera. Alright, it's fine, it's fine. Alright, let's not mess this up, shall we? Right, the best thing to do is, I think... do this. And then... do that. Now we got this dude. I'm gonna summon this. Can we just do a... we haven't got a link one, have we? Alright, it's battle phase. Okay, so... this is your summon card destroyed. Okay, that's not the right one. Where's the effect? Destroyed by opponents. Okay. I'm gonna say yes, I'm not sure what effect we get. Oh. Oh, it's draw a card, discard a card from the effect of the thing, isn't it? Okay, and then this is... you can banish one VENDREAD monster from your graveyard, it can attack... oh, nice, yes. So we attack that. Oh, it's got to be in a row. Okay, I see, my bad. So it has to attack after. I should have attacked Mizuki first, and then attacked, then I could have attacked again. Okay, I see, I see. Alright. Making lots of mistakes, but we're learning, you know? As long as you learn from the mistakes, it's all good. And now I know next time, get the effect of that. Bam, bam, bam. Do some big damage, hopefully. Oh, okay, this is looking kind of scary. Okay. I'm not liking the look of this. It's fine, it's fine. Oh, okay. You doing something else? Oh, no. Okay. Sure. Don't know what you're doing, but let's do this. So we're gonna win this turn, right? And then I can just discard this for like this. Summon it. We win. Draw a card, discard a card. Then the effect of this lets me attack again, right? No. Alright, guess we end. Alright. What can you do? You got the one ritual card in hand that... Did you top deck? Alright, it's not the worst card to draw actually, to be fair, because then you can discard that, get a VENDREAD, 2,100 defense. Oh, I wonder what that is. Oh no. Could be bad? Not. Alright, so then we just, we win. Keeping it draw a card. Oh, we can discard one, but let's just do that. And then, we win. Nice. I'm gonna say I actually like this deck. I don't usually like zombie decks, but it's actually kind of fun, this one. Some sleeves, sweet. Alright, so the goal, then we'll unlock the gate, and then we'll do the last duel. Let's see how this story ends. So fueled only by his scorching hatred, VENDREAD Executor swooped through the horde and cut down the false figures of his beloved one after another. He'd been fighting his foe for days that could no longer be counted, all alone. And after absorbing VENDREAD Battlelord, his grudge only grew bigger with his VENDREAD powers. It was barely being kept in balance with his human heart. His mind and body had long been pushed past their limits. It was already a miracle that he was able to exist with both life and death in one vessel. It didn't matter anymore if that what remained of his humanity faded, or if his body fell apart. Nothing could stop him now. All he had on his mind was to fight, and fight, and fight. He threw everything he had into the single desire. Then, at long last, the VENDREAD horde moved no more. The battle had finally come to a close. The rays of the sun broke through the dark veil of the sky, illuminating the Slayer. Just how long had this war waged on for? The city survivors squinted, unaccustomed to the bright light. But oh, what a joyous sight it was. No one ever thought they would see the end of those eternal nights. But here the sun was in all its glory. The Slayer could feel his body fading with the light. He bent over to pick up the locket that had been taken from around his neck. All the VENDREAD had been defeated, and the darkness that engulfed the city was gone. But at the end of the day, he too was a VENDREAD, and now it was his time to go. Now that the undead threat had passed with the endless nights, the survivors were able to return to their peaceful lives. However, the grief of losing so many lives left an unmendable hole in their hearts. All of the survivors also developed a fear of the night, and would be plagued by nightmares of the horrors they had faced. Unbeknownst to them, a single shadow watched over them from atop the glowing skyscrapers. Just like he had saved the city, the survivors had saved him. Although the Slayer had set out for revenge, he had still saved countless lives, and they all celebrated him as their hero. They were able to hold on to hope because of this lone fighter. As the Slayer was slipping into the darkness of that fateful day, the survivors' kind hearts had pulled him back. Thus, he was able to remain in the mortal world without disappearing like the other VENDREADs. If the world ever fell into darkness again, the monsters threatened the lives of the people again, he would surely swing his blade for them once more, but this time, without the resentment he once harbored in his heart. If that time ever came, he would fight not for vengeance, but for peace, and to give the people the courage and hope they hope when they needed it. Oh, what a great story, man. It kind of ended sadly, but kind of changed around. That's good. Alright. I don't know, I kind of want to build this deck. I say this every single time. Like, I experience a deck for the first time that I would never ever try this deck if I saw it. Like, if I was buying the cards, I got this, I was like, okay, I would never play it. But just seeing the story and playing it through this game. It makes me want to build the deck and just try it out more. Oh, so good. All right, so let's see what we're doing here. Okie dokie. Right, what do I need to do? So I think we do this first, right? Get this, and then we get the, yep. And then we go, send one zombie monster from your hand or face up from the field to the graveyard, special one VENDREAD monster from your deck. Right, so if we go, right, let's do this. This. Banish any monster destroyed by battle with this card effect. Okay, that's not bad. I want to get this. Then activate this. So we summon you. Got to use you. Got to use you. All right. And then we get the effect where we can banish. Oh, I should have banished that one. Oh, okay, you got two. Oh, this is not good. Oh, this is really not good. Although it's not the worst. It's not the worst. Let's get this. And if we send this, right, then I think I can go like this. Activate this. Can get this. Okay. And then we go activate this. So do that. Wait, do we want to do that? Alright, special in this. That. Oh no, okay, so I've got to do that and then this. Okay. So we got this now. Right. Activate the effect. Alright, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this. I should have done... if I got the card, I should have done this in a different way. Oh, this is annoying, because I think I could have done something. If that, like, Cyburst link is in here. No. What's this, though? While on the field, you can only use... Okay, so you can target one VENDREAD card in your graveyard to your hand. During demonstration, this card battles an opponent's monster. Send one zombie monster from your deck to the graveyard. Opponent's... Okay. Not bad. And then we go... I can use... Wait. Can you use each of the... Oh, I can use both of them. Okay. What do I get? What do I get? I think I get this just in case. Right, let's go battle phase. Kill you. That kills this. And that kills that. And then... I don't use the effect, it's fine. Maybe I should have done it, just put something in the graveyard. Yeah, I should have done that. It doesn't matter. Alright, I thought that was really bad, but it's actually kind of good. Yes. Do we win? I think we win. Well, this was, that was easy. I love this deck. I really do like this deck a lot. It's not bad. Nice. Alright, well, that was the Dark Dead Vengeance solo mode. And I love it. I think next we've got 100%, like I bought the structure deck so I can get Spellbook of Judgment. I think next video we do for Master, I'm going to just do a Spellbook, few duels. I haven't played in a while and like ranked because I'm got demoted to bronze now, so hopefully I'll play some bad decks and I can just have some fun with Spellbook of Judgment and stuff. It's gonna be great. Thank you guys for watching though. I'll catch you guys next time. Have a great day. Peace.